to the third discussion that is lined up for our viewers. So the wedding season is in full swing. Now the estimate suggests that close to 32 lakh weddings are lined up till February 2023, and marriage can often mean some large expenses, right? Because managing your finances and investments does become crucial. So how should you plan for an emergency fund, and why is it important to inform your fiance or your would-be better half about your investments and your obligations as well? And to discuss all of that in much more detail, we have on board Mr. Amit Kukreja, who is the founder at Amit Kukreja Advisory. Thank you so much, Amit, for joining us today on ET Now. My first question, let's keep it basic, because why is it important to spend wisely in the wedding functions? Because in India, we call it the big fat wedding, and people tend to take up loans for marriage purpose in the personal loan category. Do you see is that a wise decision to go for it?
See, it's a individual's lifestyle decision. We shouldn't be judgmental about the person who's planning to spend a lot of money, as long as it is not leading the person to run into a toxic financial situation or a toxic financial life. If the person has the capacity to pay back and he does not have the means to take care of his wedding expense as per the aspirations the person has nurtured, and there's no harm in taking a loan to use that money in creating a nice wedding set of events, etc. But if the person does not have the capacity, then the person shouldn't borrow money. But in our culture, we have often observed that it's the parents who shower all the goodies during the wedding events, and parents take quite a lot of expense contribution when it comes to spending on their children, and they do plan for that as a goal in their financial life. So I think it's a very delicate balance that you need to create. How much you want to spend on your child's wedding as a parent? How much do you want to contribute as a person who is getting married? How much would you like your fiance to contribute as a person if he or she is getting married to you? And how much of the contribution is coming to the entire thing from the fiance's parents' point of view? So you have to look at the situation very sensibly and see how the entire contribution element of the set of events is adding to harmony, is adding to peace, love, and joy. Because at the end of the day, wedding events are a source of a lot of entertainment, happiness, joy for a lot of families in India. And there's no harm borrowing the money as long as you have the capacity to pay it back. I'm sorry, I don't have a black and white answer, but these are cultural, there are a lot of cultural nuances to weddings in India. So it has to be carefully assessed and accordingly the decision be taken.
Yes, absolutely. It depends on person to person. But Amit, when it comes to the budget planning, we often get more in terms of that. We often try to stretch our budget limitations in terms of taking a loan, like we were discussing in the first question. But what about post-marriage, when somebody has to have that emergency fund? What's your view coming in, as in terms of percentage, how much money should one keep in the emergency fund, and what kind of expenses should one be prepared of in that sense?
Yeah, so once the couple gets married, or once the couple has chosen to live in together, that's also common these days in our society. I think a typical financial planning process kicks in, and a very fundamental financial planning step is to make sure that you have a contingency fund or an emergency fund, which means your ability to take care of your lifestyle expenses in case of a loss of a job. Contingency and emergency fund is purely to address the contingent situation of not having an earned income or a supporting income, and you have savings that will take care of your lifestyle expense. But now you are newly married, so obviously you have some aspirations, you have some wishes to go and go for a honeymoon or spend time with the spouse more frequently, just to cement the relationship, just to make it a lot more harmonious and a lot more fruitful and productive and supportive and peaceful for both of you. So you need a delicate balance again in terms of how much as a couple do you plan to spend. Are you both earning, or is it just a single earning member couple? If you are both earning, then how are you choosing to contribute? And if you are if it's an earning member which is only one person contributing, then how much of his salary should be channelized towards fun part of post marriage, and the regular investing and the regular financial goals planning part of the post marriage. Evolution, as I say, as the couple will evolve their relationship, as the couple will go through the events in life, as the life unfolds for them together, they will choose what items to be prioritized with respect to expenses and what items to be deprioritized with respect to addressing them right now or maybe a year later or a couple of years later. So you need a delicate balance here again, and it should be a good balance of fun and happiness and also planning for the future. So see, we don't want anybody to ruin the present just to have a better future. We want everybody to enjoy the present also. So spend some money on your present situation and have fun in the present moment, and also save a bit for your better future so you can have repeated experiences of what you're having now, which is giving you joy and happiness. You can have it again next year because you have saved the money for that.
Comes to expenses, why it is important to inform your would-be better half about your investments as well as obligations, and what are the points to be noted here? Because and along with that, a second question is that because just post-marriage, many people try to go for some higher or some big assets, like maybe an expensive car or maybe an expensive house. So just after that marriage phase, is this a wise decision to go for?
Yeah, very interesting point, Srishti, and I want to touch upon it. And my answer may get a bit longer, so please feel free to pause me if I cross the time limit. I think what we have to understand, couple of things. One, I have observed, because I've ended up becoming a couples counselor with respect to financial and money management, and I've seen people who are in their 40s when they got married. One of the persons was earning, the other was a homemaker. And when the one person was earning and the other was not earning, I observed that lot of confusing situation was there. And if I come across a family where both the members were earning, then there was one person who was only spending, the other person was investing, or vice versa. What we need to understand in the Indian context is, Srishti, that when you are married, you are two separate pans living together. In the eyes of income tax department, you are two separate pans. It's not a one single married pan, right? Which means both of you need to earn money, both of you need to save money, both of you need to invest money. So make sure that contributions towards expenses are done jointly in some proportion that you have agreed upon, and individually you are saving the money and investing so that the wealth is accumulating across the two pan numbers. So that's important part. Now, in terms of lifestyle goals, so when you are a young couple in late 20s or early 30s, obviously you want to have a good lifestyle, you want to buy a good car, you may want to buy a first house. So see how much of the present you want to have and how much of the planning for the future you want to keep with respect to money flow.
Okay, so that's the decision to be taken. But Amit, we'll let you go on that. We are completely out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. Pleasure having you. Okay, but with this, we end this edition of the ET Money Show. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in today.